Hello and welcome back to the Countercrime Partnership Members YouTube channel, and this is the TELOX TE310 radio, and it's potentially the new entry-level radio for CCP members in 2026. I say potentially because, as you can see, there's no screen. That means it's much cheaper for us to buy and therefore cheaper for us to sort of rehire on to CCP members. On the downside, if there's any problems, we are a little bit worried in the control room that we can't diagnose those problems without physically attending site and plugging the radio into a laptop, whereas at the moment we could even say, send us a picture of the screen and we'll tell you what's going on. So far, so good, in fairness to it. The only issues we've had are around connection. I think it's just worth explaining that issue now. And that is that with an LTE radio, or with the CCP LTE radios, once the radio is connected to the network, if you lose signal throughout the day, it will retry and find connection and reconnect by itself. If the initial connection doesn't work, then where you've not got the screen, you kind of can't press the retry button. So you've got to turn it off and turn it on again and start the process. So the process is this. So we turn the power on, which is a couple of seconds press of this top button on the left hand side, and we know something's happening because the green light has come on the top. We're then going to hear like a ready noise. Normally takes about 10 or 11 seconds, and then we're waiting for a second noise, which is the connection sort of confirmation sound. So that's your ready noise, and we're now listening for a distinctive bloop bloop as I describe it. Should have put a stopwatch on the corner of the screen. There we go. I'd say that's probably certainly less than 30 seconds. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Oh, someone's transmitting now, typical. Right, let's see if we can get through this before anyone else talks. So on the left hand side, we've got volume up and down. We've got push to talk, release to listen, and the power on and off. On the top, we've got an SOS button and the channel change button. If you don't need access to multiple channels, that normally won't do anything. If you do, you get sort of a audio, sort of a voice saying what channel you're on. With the SOS, if you hold that for 3 seconds, it will start transmitting without the need to press the push to talk, and we'll see in our control room that you've pressed it, and we'll be able to hear what's going on. So once you pressed it, do try and shout out a bit of a commentary, even if you're having to defend yourself, and let's hope you don't ever have to use that SOS button, but if you do, it's there. To turn the radio off, okay, I did just have to cut the video because someone transmitted. I probably should have done this on a channel that no one was using, but essentially I've run through the controls. So it's just the power off at the end to talk about now. And all that is holding the power button for a few seconds until you hear the that noise and the radio's off. You don't really need to turn the radio on and off. Generally speaking, you could sort of put it back on charge overnight, as long as you take it back off charge in the morning, even if you don't carry it around with you, just to get those battery cycles through for battery health. Just take it off in the morning and put it on at night, should be fine. So in summary, from a CCP perspective, we do expect this to be a really good entry point radio, especially for local independent members, perhaps where cost is more of an issue than your sort of national chains. At the moment, the option for independent members is we might bring what we call a pre-loved radio back in. So you might get a national chain that's upgraded their radio, and there's nothing really wrong with the previous one. They've just decided to go for a different model. So we let that out to a local independent, but the problem is we don't always have those in stock. So we think this TE310 is going to be a really good radio. perhaps we can come back to you in the comments and let you know once we've had it out in the field for a little while. But thank you for listening.